You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk 1150 AM. Now, back to the show with local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell.
You are listening to the Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, January 7th show. A new year for the show, which means new goals for you. And we're here to help you reach those goals. You can also listen to my show podcast, Facebook premiere, and you can catch my show on my show YouTube channel. I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. I bring into studio each week the best of the best experts in our local market on everything regarding your money. And now in studio, I have Kimberly Storey of Coldwell Banker Danforth, keeping it real estate with Kim right here on 1150 AM at KKNW. Kim, welcome back into the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Tina.
I love the title, Keeping It Real Estate with Kim. That was so awesome. So really excited to talk more real estate with you as well, Kim. And what advice would you give a seller in today's market?
Yeah, I would say it's really important to have everything in order and buttoned up on your home. And really, in order to achieve that, partner with a great agent that has, highly recommended, good, reviews and whatnot from the very beginning. Sometimes sellers wait a little bit too long to start that process. And, an experienced agent is going to be able to help you with what really needs to be done to get your home market ready to then get the most out of your home, because you're selling a huge asset. And with this market, the way it's shifted, buyers want things good to go. Don't skimp on the landscaping. Don't skimp on the cleaning. If there's some paint that needs to be done, you just need to go take care of it, because buyers want homes to look good and it needs to be properly marketed as well. So, which is another reason to partner early with an agent, because a great agent is going to help you properly market your home.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to have the best of the best in how that's presenting to the buyers, and only a real estate agent and a great real estate agent is going to help you be able to strategize on where you should be putting your money that's going to have the biggest bang for the buck, and ultimately get most profitable. And I like how you mentioned marketing too, Kim, because a lot of agents, they just don't have the resources financially to be able to market. And that's another reason why you have to work with an agent that does a lot of business in our local market like you, that you're really investing in the strategies and helping the seller understand what that looks like and how to maximize that property. For sure. So what advice, if we flip it to your other hat, when you're helping buyers, what advice would you give to a buyer in today's market?
Yeah, for buyers, I would say, we've had this shift where buyers have a little bit more time now. You can do your due diligence versus the first half of 2021 or 2022. And all of 2021 really was crazy. It was fast paced. You had to make a decision right away. So you have a little bit of time to do your due diligence and figure out the area you want to live, location, features in a home. But at the same side of that, to realize that we are in about 2 months supply of inventory, which is actually still considered a seller's market. And some buyers think they can wait on things. And there's homes that they're on the market for 3 weeks, but when we're looking at a lot of our neighborhoods in the MLS are, averaging 29 days in market and whatnot. If you see a home that's getting close to that, there's probably other buyers that are going to be interested too. So if you see a home you like, don't wait too long to act on it. Because there are buyers out there interested, and it's definitely shifted in favor of buyers right now, but it's not 100% a buyer's market.
Yeah. And it's so funny because how perception can be so different. It's like, what happened? A home used to sell in 24 hours. Well, the reality is we really don't want that market. We want more of a balanced market. And as Kim said, we're really not even in a balanced market based on how the average of how homes are going. We're still kind of in a seller's market. So it's just that perception. And really, this is the best market to be in to help sustain what we're looking for. And again, the buyers actually have an opportunity to get into something much, much easier. So Kim, what is the biggest mistake that you see sellers making in today's market?
Yeah, the biggest mistake is sellers can be pricing their home too high right now. And I know it's really hard when you see what your neighbor sold their home for 6 months ago, you want that price, but that's not where we're at. And it's very detrimental. Even to just go a little too high can be really detrimental in this market. And realistically, you have to ask yourself as a seller, some sellers are going to sell and then become a buyer. Some sellers are just selling because maybe it's investment property. But when you're a buyer, if you're a buyer, do you want to overpay for something, or do you want something that's a deal or value? And right now, buyers want a good deal, a good value property, and if you need to price it accordingly, because all the best marketing, staging, home prep in the world will not do anything if you have it overpriced.
Yeah. And once it's overpriced and it sits on the market, then you're starting to get into some real challenges in being able to sell that home and get a great profit for it. And that's another reason I can't say how important, and the why behind creating this show 11 years ago was to get you in front of the best when it comes to money, because you have to work with a local real estate agent that has the expertise and is one of the best of the best. And Kim is definitely that. So Kim, what is the biggest mistake that you're seeing that buyers are making in today's real estate market?
So big mistake buyers are making right now are the ones that are sitting on the fence, because you talked about it earlier. If you have a good job and you have money for a down payment, and you don't need a lot of money for a down payment right now, you definitely don't need 20% down. We can often get closing costs paid for by the sellers. A lot of my buyer clients are getting sellers to pay for all their closing costs. Tina has great rate buy down programs that we won't, get into on this, but there's really ways that you can leverage. You have a little bit of money for a down payment, 3% even, or VA 0%, and you get the sellers to pay your closing costs, and you can get it on a property. And really, like the best way, and I truly believe this, is someone who owns several properties, is the best way to grow wealth is in real estate. So you're making a huge mistake as a buyer if you're just sitting and waiting for the interest rates to go down, because guess what? When the interest rates go down, the pricing goes a lot higher. And making that check, you're paying down someone else's mortgage when you're writing a check to your landlord every month, instead of you could be paying down your own mortgage.
Yes, you don't want this to be a missed opportunity, because right now that's exactly what it is, as an opportunity. And you don't want to look back and go, wow, I really missed on that opportunity. Depending on your price range, you can also look at down payment assistance programs, and you do not have to be a first-time buyer for that either. So, and then Kim can figure out how to get the seller to pay closing costs and prepaids, whether it's negotiating that or increasing the price to get the seller to agree to do it, depending, as we talked before, how that home is listed as far as the price goes. So Kim, how do sellers, how are they able to create multiple offers when we've had this shift in the market?
Well, one way is you do things to the home that can make the home look a lot more attractive. So right now, buyers want move-in ready, updated. A lot of people that live in our region, Puget Sound region, work a lot, and they value their time outside of work to spend with family and friends, and doing home projects is not on most people's lists. And people are willing to do small things, but they don't want to do anything big. So the homes that are beautifully move-in ready and updated and then priced lower will actually get multiple offers in this market. We're not going to be seeing things like 10 offers, even 15 offers that we saw in all of 2021 and the first half of 2022, but we are still seeing homes, if they are extremely well presented and priced lower, you will see a couple buyers making offers on the same home.
Yeah, so the price is critically important, and it's such a skill for an agent to be able to master that and to shift in the market. So definitely make sure that you're, again, working with an agent that has those skills, and then listening to what they're advising you to do. So Kim, can you share a seller success story?
Yeah, actually, a recent seller success story was it was an estate sale. So the person who lived there had passed away, is no longer around, and the family, I met with them, and I took a look at the home, and the home was in very, very dire shape, extremely bad condition. It was really the exterior that was in really bad shape. It was in such bad shape, you wouldn't be able to get a loan on it because the steps were falling apart to the home. The roof was in bad shape. There was vegetation growing on the side of the house. And so it was not going to be financeable. So your options at that point was you have to sell to an investor all cash. And we doing analysis, looking at what had recently sold in the area, we figured an as is cash price for the property would have been $500,000. This is property located in Shoreline. And they said, you know what, we want to put a little bit of money into this. We want to try to get a lot more out of this asset. And so went through a list of things that really absolutely needed to be done. And the biggest thing, let's get this so that people who need loans can buy this home. And so the total spend, and really, we actually learned after talking to multiple roofers, we just needed to do a really good clean of the roof, a moss removal, painted the exterior, new steps in the front and the back of the home, super good deep cleaning the carpets, some paint touch up on the inside. I mean, the landscaping was atrocious. It's incredible landscaping. And then I staged it, marketed it. We listed it for $675, and we actually ended up getting 4 offers, and it sold for $720. And
Wow.
their spend, they did a little bit of investment. They spent $38,000 to get that point. But when we were looking at zero money, 500,000 versus 38,000 and 720, and we didn't do everything. There was still a lot more things that could have been done, but it was like, this is what we can do to get you a lot more. And we didn't do a kitchen remodel. We didn't do we didn't do any interior remodeling, but we had excellent curb appeal. And again, they were able to get multiple offers in this market.
That is the difference between working with one of the best of the best and working with an agent that is not one of the best of the best. Huge success story. Thank you so much for sharing that, Kim. What about a buyer success story?
Yeah. So recently worked with these buyers, and we saw a home had been on the market for, it was almost 3 months on the market. So that's a long time on the market. And homes like that, if they've been on the market for a long time, I'm not afraid to really go for it as far as going in low when I'm representing the buyer. And so my clients, they really wanted the price lower plus a closing costs concession. They really wanted about 50,000 combined from where the price was. And so I told them, instead of asking for the price to be lower plus closing costs, in the eyes of the seller, it looks bad. I said, let's just come in 100,000 under. And they wanted to be, again, like about 50,000 under. And so I said, let's just go lower in the price, 100,000. If we go, 70,000 lower in price, 30,000 in closing costs, they're not going to like the way that is presented. It just doesn't look good in their eyes. So we went 100,000 under. Oh, and I also had learned that the seller had been, essentially his daughter had been living in the home. So it wasn't his personal residence. We're not going to be offending anybody here. He never actually lived in the home. It was a rental. And then his daughter had lived in the home while he owned it, and he had a lot of equity in the property. So we felt that this would still, we wanted to stay in the game. We wanted them to counter us. So we went 100,000 under, and they came back with countering us 40,000 more. So essentially 60,000 under. Yep. And where my clients really wanted to be, they were thrilled with that. And so we came back and said, hey, actually what would make better sense for my clients, we want 30,000 in closing costs for the rate buy down program, and then the price lower by 30,000. And they agreed to that, and we moved on towards closing. So they got basically 60,000 off in terms of price and credit. But I know we wouldn't have gotten that if we had tried to go both ways. So you just have to be strategic in, your approach, but there's definitely, buyers can get discounts right now on properties.
Yeah. And that is so great to listen to that process of strategically. I know ultimately the end goal of what we're going to do, but here's what we're going to do to get that negotiating started, and then to be able to do that. And also recognizing the emotional connection or not because of the type of the seller. So it's really gathering all the information and doing all of that work up front that makes all of the difference in those huge wins that you're able to see. So unique thing that you offer for your clients, Kim?
I am I like to have a very hands-on approach. So with me, you're going to get me doing the negotiations with you. I'm the person you can text and call for anything that comes up anytime. I don't actually return calls 3 a.m, but
I hope not.
I'll see them when I wake up and I'll get back right away. But I'm very hands-on, white glove approach, and I don't pawn things off on, somebody else to handle. It doesn't matter if I'm, selling a multi-million-dollar property or, a smaller, 2-bedroom, 1-bath home or a condo. Every client gets the same level of expertise from me and the same attention from me.
The same white glove approach, no matter if you're buying your first time condo or the luxury home. Kim, thank you so much for being here in virtual studio with me. It's always great to have you in and showcase the amazing things that you're doing in our local community when it comes to real estate. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina. Always great to chat with you and be here.